During the course of your storytelling certification, you'll be carrying out an experiment. But why experiment? Well, when we think about learning, it's important to consider three spaces: the learning space itself, the rehearsal space, and where you go to perform. You can't really jump straight from learning into performance, and the experiment is partly an opportunity to rehearse, to try things out. But it's more than that. It's about consciously deciding what you're going to try out, setting some parameters around that, some objectives, seeking to learn something else during the process of doing that, and then going out and doing it and capturing your experience from that experiment. What did you try? How did you expect it to turn out? How did it actually turn out? What do you think about that? Experimentation is something which is important to learn, but it's also important for organisations to understand in terms of how they evolve. Indeed, when an organisation talks about transformation, what it often needs to consider is the experimentation and the prototyping which will allow it to transform. You can't just go from 1 to 10. You have to work through the steps in the middle. Very often organisations talk about experiments when what they actually mean is projects, something which has a clear, defined outcome and which works. But of course, the thing about experiments is they may not work. We set out a hypothesis, something that we believe, something that we're wanting to explore, that we're trying to prove or disprove, and we then carry out our experimental action to see whether we can do it. But in the context of an experiment, learning what doesn't work, disproving our theory, is as valuable as proving it. So experimentation is partly a mindset, but it's also very specifically a methodology. And one of the things I really hope you'll take out of this certification is the ability to shape and structure and carry out and learn from an experiment.